Hi there, this is a video about ProTips from the Unity Asset Store. This is to show how to do a proximity trigger, like if you want to put a tooltip on a 3D object in the game and have a player, like a controller, be able to go up to an object, and then when they get close enough, they can mouse over the object and see a tooltip. And so I'm just going to start with a simple scene here. This is from another asset, but I have it stripped down to where it's only just a little bit of terrain. And then we have this interactable column, which I've stripped it down so that there's nothing here except a box collider and the mesh. And the only thing I've done so far is I've imported ProTips into this project, and I've done the quick, well, actually I haven't done the setup yet. So window, ProTips, quick setup, and that's going to add the tooltip manager, and I'm just going to leave that default. And I'm just going to show what happens if you just put a tooltip trigger. Let's see, a tooltip trigger, and I'm just going to start with the. I'm just going to do the Metro Simple Text Mesh Pro version, and I want to say like hit E to interact, because the idea is I would have this column here that the player could interact with when they get close enough to it. All right, so if we just do that, then we should be able to run the scene. All right, so it works, but there's no proximity. Let me turn off these gizmos. All right, so when I mouse over it, the tooltip comes up, but like if I'm really far away from it, it still comes up. So see, that's not very desirable. I kind of want to have a lot of objects in my game, and I want when the player gets close to it, that's when he can see a tooltip. Otherwise, he doesn't see one. All right, so I'll stop this. I've written a script that fixes the problem here, and I'm going to link this in the video. But I'm just going to go ahead and add that script, and I'll show you also what it does. So let's see, it's called Tooltip Proximity. And you're going to put this script on at the same level that you have your tooltip trigger. Okay, by default, there's a tag of player here. So only objects that come within range of this, this game object that are tagged with player are going to allow the tooltip to work. So otherwise it'll be deactivated, because if a cannonball flies by or something, you don't want that to trigger your tooltip or make it where it would be activated. And then the other thing is the radius, and that's just going to allow you to customize how close you want the player to be. I found that 6 seems fine, but you could change this, of course, to whatever you want it to be. This is going to be in game units in Unity, so that'd be roughly 6 meters or 6 game units. And then this offset is it just adjusts the position of the trigger. There's going to be a sphere trigger on this, and when you get within range of that sphere trigger collider, it's going to activate the tooltip, and I'll kind of show that. But this is useful. I'll show you why it's useful. But so if you wanted not to be using this with a player, you could use it with a different tag. You would just need to change that here. But I'm just going to leave it player, because my first-person controller here is tagged as player. So this should work fine for me. Okay, I'm going to run it. And so right now, if I mouse over, it doesn't do anything. I'm too far away. And let me turn on my gizmos so you can see what has happened. Okay, you see the sphere around the column now? That was added. I'll show you that down here. If you look, this trigger collider game object has been dynamically created on here from the script. And it has a sphere collider, and you'll see that its radius is 6, because that's what we had in the script. And then it has another little script that was dynamically added. So one thing you might see is that it looks like the the sphere collider actually starts kind of down in the ground a little bit, like it's a little low, and that's because um, the my model, my column model, its origin is at the bottom of the object. So it's going to go wherever the model's origin is. So that's where that offset is helpful. So I'm going to adjust that real quick just to show it to you. I'm going to adjust this up by 1. So it should put it halfway, in the middle of this object. Okay, now it's kind of up higher off the ground. Okay, now when I get closer and I step into it, then suddenly I have hold E to interact. Now you notice that it's kind of off-centered. I'm going to fix that real quick. That's just on the Tooltip trigger script. I found what works better is it looks like mouse top middle seems to work the best for me. Okay, as I get closer, then see, and then when I back out, it goes away because I'm outside of the trigger now. And then inside, and then if I mouse off of the object, see it's very sensitive. So it's going to be whatever that collider is on the object, which you could of course adjust. Okay, and well, let me just turn everything off so that you can see how it would actually work in the game. I'm going to turn all these gizmos off. And sorry about the frame rate, it looks like it's just because of me recording. It doesn't actually look like that normally. Yeah, so now I could have a whole bunch of objects in my game littered all over the place, and as I get close to any one of them that has this Tooltip proximity script on it, it's going to allow me to then, see the tooltip, and then of course I would have a script. When I hit E to interact, it would do something, or maybe I would pick it up and put it in my inventory if it was an object laying on the ground. But anyway, that's how you would do it, and I will link the script. It should get you started if you want to take it and enhance it yourself. And I hope that this helps. Thanks.